Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
We're saying vote him up or vote him down, but take action on it.
Having served as senator for 6 terms, Port Authority of Guam General Manager Joanne Brown says she's all too familiar with how the legislative process works. She, however, is questioning the holdup of the confirmation of Port Board Chairman Francisco Santos.
Well, obviously, we're concerned. I mean, we've patiently waited for what is now 6 months on our chairman's nomination, and he's served quite well for the last 3 years. I mean, during a time of unprecedented upgrades and improvement to our port facilities, our equipment acquisitions, I think that it's very hard to deny the significant improvements that have been made to the port.
Santos is just one of a dozen of the governor's nominees to various boards and commissions currently not on the agenda for the last session of the term. In a release, Governor Eddie Calvo asked the legislature to do its job and move on these nominations, adding he sees no reason for this delay. If the nominees are not acted upon before the end of the term, they will essentially die in committee. Brown says Santos has been with the port for more than 38 years.
I don't think the response to individuals in our community that essentially provide community service by serving on these boards is to simply give them no response. I think we have a right to expect the legislature to perform their responsibility to do that.
Without Santos' confirmation, the port board will be down to the bare minimum of members required for quorum.
To simply kill it in committee and not allow it to see the light of day, I don't think that's fair either, not only to the chief executive, of making that appointment, but to the individuals themselves and to the public to at least know one way or the other.
Brown hasn't heard any reason from Oversight Chair Senator Tom Atta, who she says has not been very engaged in the past 4 years. Atta did not want to give any comment on the matter at this time. Of the other 11 nominees noted by the governor, the rest sit in the committees chaired by Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz and Senator Michael San Nicolas. San Nicolas says senators are working expeditiously as possible, and part of the job is to vet these nominees.
For example, there was another hearing where there was testimony provided that really called into question the ability for the individual to remain impartial. And so it's for those kind of reasons that we're not able to move nominations forward. But I really don't think that is anybody not necessarily doing their job. I think it's people actually being very diligent in the work that they do.
San Nicolas will chair the Committee on Rules in the next Guam legislature. This committee decides the referral of where bills and nominees go.
It's a very fluid process. Yes, at the end of the 33rd, nominations that were made are no longer valid, but we can go through the same process at the beginning of the 34th. And there's nothing necessarily that's wrong with that. I think that it'll be a healthy thing to do.
We should note the session agenda for the current session has 8 nominees that await the confirmation of senators. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintaniza.
Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.